doing? Over there. Lay down. Lay down. What up? Jack from Jug Squad is doing a dang 24-hour backflip on a trampoline flip challenge. One Southern testifies. Is she crying? Rome, yo.
Honorable Chair, esteemed members of this committee, I would like to thank you for so enthusiastically inviting me to speak today. My name is Lauren Southern. I am a filmmaker, a YouTuber, and a proud Canadian. In late 2023, I was contracted to make weekly videos by a startup company called Tenet Media. Then recently, the U.S. Department of Justice released an indictment which alleges the founders of Tenet created the company in conjunction with 2 Russian citizens, with funding ultimately originating from the Russian government. Per the indictment, the founders of Tenet Media deceived the personalities they contracted regarding their alleged source of funding. I'll make a few points clear at the outset. At no point in my involvement with Tenet did I ever have knowledge of the allegations in the indictment. And 2, the only person who ever had any creative control over my videos was me. No one from Tenet or anywhere else ever dictated what topics I covered or what opinions I held. I always seek to fight disinformation in all of its forms, and therefore I have a duty to inform this committee that disinformation has been spreading within these very walls. Some in the media and even witnesses to this committee have attempted to paint a picture of Tenet as a hugely influential player in the political media landscape. This, frankly, is just not true. A previous witness to this committee, who went unchallenged, stated that Tenet Media controlled a network of over 16 million subscribers. This is not true. On their largest platform, YouTube, Tenet had barely over 300,000 subscribers. I believe the 16 million figure referred to the total number of subscribers among all of the personalities who had videos contracted or licensed by Tenet. Subscriber base is that, given all of the facts, Tenet had absolutely no control over. To claim that Tenet controlled those subscribers would be like claiming that a TV network had influence over the United States presidency because they air reruns of The Apprentice. The same witness claimed Tenet garnered over 1 billion video views and 20 billion impressions. I have absolutely no idea where those numbers came from. Very readily available public data shows that on its largest platform, YouTube, Tenet received only 16 million total views. Based on the witness's specious numbers, he asserted that Russia received extraordinary value.
One more piece. Got it. Okay. What do we got this week? What do we got in the news? What are they talking about?
Value for their money. Anyone with even a cursory understanding of new media would know, however, that $10 million for 16 million views on YouTube hardly qualifies as extraordinary value. In fact, it qualifies as a total failure. So there is, in fact, a silver lining here. If the allegations are true, it appears Russia did attempt to influence Western media, but they failed pretty miserably. Now, I know the chief concern of this committee is how this debacle may have influenced Canadians. Well, I was the only Canadian commentator and the only host that consistently discussed Canadian issues. In fact, if the company had any creative control over me, which they didn't, they probably would have asked me to stop making Canadian videos since they didn't perform very well.
Apparently, there's new stuff about the Her and Destiny drama. Looks like it was all true. Dun dun dun. I don't really pay attention to much of it, so I've watched a couple of the videos that have been coming out.
So if you were worried about this alleged Russian money unduly influencing Canadian issues, good news, didn't happen. And I'll be honest, it has been surreal for me to watch our government, experts, and media assert that scripts I would jot down in my notes app in a line at the grocery store were secretly part of a giant foreign influence campaign. Arguably, the largest actual impact on Canadians here has been the amount of tax dollars they've had to spend investigating this non-issue.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to watch all
Plans are starting to take shape with President-elect Donald Trump's newly created Department of Government Efficiency, headed up by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy.
As national correspondent Matt Galka tells us, even some Democrats believe the agency could do some good.
Ramaswamy. This bitch can't read the prompter. It's Ramaswamy.
Work.
Wealthy entrepreneurs Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy view their Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, as a crusade to trim the federal bureaucracy.
We are going to take aim at the overgrown fourth branch of government and finally restore self-governance in America again, where the people we elect to run the government once again become the ones who actually run the government, and in the process take care of massive cost overruns, massive federal spending.
DOGE promises recommendations that will cut costs and
Thanksgiving show. That's what's tomorrow. Again, not much big stuff in the news this week, but it's Thanksgiving, so we get to watch Rush's Thanksgiving thing. We're going to carry his torch. What am I looking for? Bookmarks. Let's see if I have been keeping folders long enough to have a Thanksgiving folder. I don't think I do. I think I started saving all these at Christmas time last year. So I don't have everything saved in my past research folder. Thanksgiving, Halloween. Yeah, I don't have the files I used last year for Thanksgiving. That's fine. That's not a problem. All right, let's find out about Doge.
and wasteful spending. Musk posted about a public report from the Government Accountability Office showing $247 billion of improper federal payments from 2022. Musk said it was just the tip of the iceberg.
Our federal budget is, $7 trillion a year now. It's hard to believe there's not some money in there that's being wasted.
Former Florida Democratic Congressman Patrick Murphy is in the construction industry now. He sees opportunity with what Musk and Ramaswamy are trying to do by eliminating red tape and regulation and possibly harnessing new technology like AI.
Let's tap into that. Let's bring these big minds into government.
Cut it and gut it. Cut it and gut it. Uh-oh, AI's taking over the government, though? I don't know. I don't know. This could turn out really bad. What am I naming this folder tomorrow? Rename it. Edit. 1125. 1125. Episode 134. Thanksgiving stuff. We're going to look at Thanksgiving food. You know what? I haven't done an in-depth, deep dive of Thanksgiving food on Thanksgiving. We always watch Rush's Thanksgiving speech. Thanksgiving is not socialist. It's not dang Rush Limbaugh Thanksgiving story. It pops right up. They already know where I'm going. So there's the shorter one. I think we usually play the shorter one. Oh, this one's 33, but no, that's the same one. Okay, I think we watched this one last year where he's wearing the green shirt. And the first Thanksgiving show, or maybe it was the second. I don't know. We watched Orange Shirt because they're shorter. We're going to watch the long one tomorrow. We're going to watch the 24-minuter.
Now, the story of the Pilgrims begins in the early part of...
Okay. Rush. History. Great American holiday. With some Protestant roots, you know? We got some Protestant American holiday coming up.
So we get more from less, and then we can spend our tax dollars on other things or not tax as much.
The two entrepreneurs have already floated mandating federal employees return to office work 5 days a week, something Ramaswamy predicts would cause 25% of the workforce to leave. DOJ wouldn't necessarily have the power to mandate that order, and unions would very likely fight back to try and keep their members' jobs secure.
I don't want to make predictions, but I would imagine we're going to see some attempts to really shake things up that ultimately end up in the Supreme Court.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer has already promised to create a DOJ subcommittee, chaired by Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Reporting in Washington,
Lord. Lord. MTG is running the DOJ subcommittee. Oh, Lord. America's about to get crazy for the next 4 years. Let's go.
Matt Galka.
Okay. Thanksgiving. Rush. Talk about foods of Thanksgiving. The best sides. I'll tell you what I'm making this year, guys. Pretty much the same thing I make every year. So if I'm going to do some mac and cheese instead of pasta, I'll probably do pasta salad and mac and cheese. And mac and cheese. All right. What else happened this week? History, Rush, and foods. Thanksgiving show. Hold on, I got notes. Other stuff happened. I know other stuff happened this week. Oh yeah, why the lefties hate it. The Lake and Riley case is being heard, and COP 29. The View, we could put that in rapid fire. The Jaguar commercial could go to rapid fire. COP 29 and the Lake and Riley case. So history of Thanksgiving stuff, COP 29, Lake and Riley. That's main. COP 29 is going to be boring than a mug. Climate, economy, sounds entertaining. Sounds great. You just get to watch me rant about how much bullshit all this is. What are we looking for? Looking for Google. COP 29. Our oceans. People's. Oh, great. China. China. A result of months of intensive diplomacy by the COP29 presidency, delivering some of the most complex tasks in multilateral climate action. They spelled climate wrong. That says climare action. They're making chimeras, as we conclude. Azerbaijan. These achievements mark critical step in putting COP29. Stand up for trillions, not billions. Oh God, we're not giving them enough money. New York Times isn't going to let me read their article, though. F you, New York Times. Bloomberg. It's a Bloomberg. I need to find an article about lefties trying to get rid of Thanksgiving. I guarantee I can find one. I'm going to search just that. Leftists ditch Thanksgiving with conservative relatives. Campus reform 15 hours ago. Ooh, interesting. Spicy. They're not going home with the family this year, not with Trump in office. Lefties, how do leftist communities like anarchists approach Thanksgiving? A guide to surviving miserable leftists at Thanksgiving. Leftists can ruin a holiday gathering. That's pretty funny. I like the Federalist. Thanksgiving canceled. There we go. Promotes genocide. Let's go. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Thank you, Fox. Hola, Amanda. White supremacist holiday. Thanksgiving. Thank you, Amanda. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. I went all out. Oh, I got some things. I'm going to be eating Thanksgiving food for a month. Ramasway. Vivek Ramasway. Cops hunting down 16-year-old mass killer.
Hi, it's me, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Welcome back to Starbase, Texas. This is, of course, where SpaceX is building their Starship vehicles. This is part one of two parts. In part one, we're going to take you around the factory, see what's new, see the ships, see the boosters, see Star Factory from the inside for the first time, and just learn a lot along the way. So stay tuned for part two, where we'll take you out to the launch pad, and we'll also follow up with Elon after the launch and see.
Isn't Polish like German, kind of? Yeah, didn't they make them speak German in Poland? Was machst du in deiner Freizeit? Ich schwimme gern. Nein. Okay, what were we doing next? Oh, COP29. Yeah. Carbon Brief. The Carbon Brief is the name of your freaking newspaper. The Carbon Brief. Today in climate news. It seems as if cold is coming around. It's very strange. It's getting cold outside. Very odd. I think we may be seeing climate cooling worldwide. Meanwhile, Santa Claus is coming to town. Which countries have sent the most delegates to COP29? I wonder if there's any video. Start with a video, because this is going to be an extremely boring segment. COP29. Was there cameras inside of there? Oh, yeah, we got this from AP.
Nations from around the world reached an agreement on how rich countries can cough up the funds to support poor countries in the face of climate change.
Yeah, guys, it's only $300 billion a year. It's supposed to be $1.5 trillion a year. Developing nations blast COP29 climate deal. Unfair and stage managed. India rejects 300 billion. World agrees to climate change. So we'll just do CNN for a basic overview. That echo barking? Echo's barking. It means somebody might be at my door. But I didn't hear no doorbell. 5 key takeaways. Yeah, we'll read the key takeaways. Thank you, BBC. Inside the frantic maneuvers that saved climate talks from Bloomberg. Then we'll read the takeaways and we'll cut to another video.
We are extremely, extremely disappointed.
Developing.
You need to give us more money. In India, we destroy the climate, but we can't afford to save it. You must help us, America. Okay. Then Bloomberg's pretty informative on these matters. And we got some graphs. Annual financing goal. God dang. Every year it goes up like billions. Damn. 2022 it jumped up like 20 billion. What the? What's that? This is crazy. It is India. I wonder how I guess. Maybe it's the dot on her head. Democracy Now. They always copyright strike me. German, Polish, Irish, and Russian. Ich heiße es Josh. Ich wohne in Tampa Bay. Ich bin 37 Jahre alt. Ich streame gern in meiner Freizeit. Okay, I gotta write this down. Feeling fine with COP29. The sun will shine with COP29. It's all in line with COP29, but you're spending billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. COP29, 300 bill, not enough. 300 billion. Developing countries. Code word. No, I'll save the joke. Yeah. Okay, what else we got? Cop 29, Lake and Riley trial. Wonder if I can find. Long crime are bishes. Top moments. Long crime are bishes. Bishes.
Your Honor, I stand here today as a grieving father whose heart was shattered in ways I never thought possible. My daughter, Laken Riley, was not just our child. She was the light of my life.
Yeah, we'll just play this now. We might not play this whole thing in the show tomorrow.
Person who brought joy to every room she entered. And now that light has been extinguished forever, taken from us in the most senseless and violent way imaginable. The pain I feel is unexplainable. Every day I am reminded that my daughter is gone. I will never hear her laugh again, never see her smile, never hold her hand or feel her hug. She was taken from us, from her family, from her friends, from her future. Our world has been torn apart, and no matter what happens here today, nothing will ever bring her back. I am haunted by the thought of the fear she must have felt in those final moments.
He's been sentenced. I did not know this last night or this morning. Oh, we got some names implicated. So convenient that they saved this trial until after the election. This is crazy. I need the clip of him in court. I need the clip of him in court saying that he got bussed into New York, put up in a hotel, and then he got a plane ticket to come to Atlanta. Or maybe he got another bus from Atlanta. He said that in court. That's what I need. NBC changed its headline. Lincoln Riley's killer never stood a chance. Wow. Wow. Huh. I need to find an article that is just a basic overview of the case first for anybody. We'll just go to the Wikipedia for the basics. Skim through that. Then the trial starts. So we go to dad. Mom asked for life without parole. It's an hour long. So how come I'm reading one Inside Edition is saying he got life, but then this website is saying he got the death penalty?
defense counsel has agreed that there's no need to swear the witnesses for the statement. You could come over here, Ms. Phillips. So before the court, Your Honor, first will be Allison Phillips, and she's Lakin's mom. Behind her is her husband and Lakin's stepfather, John Phillips, and then their daughter, Lakin's sister.
Okay, so we go to the mom. I'm not going to listen to mom. I'll listen to it first time tomorrow. We'll listen to dad, though, right now.
And it breaks my heart knowing that she suffered. I have to live with the fact that I could not protect her when she needed me the most. The pain of not being there, of not being able to stop what happened to her, is something I will never escape. My daughter had so many dreams, so many hopes for the future. She had worked so hard to become a nurse, to work with children and spread the love of God. She was a loving, kind, and intelligent young woman. She had so much to offer the world, and her life was taken from her far too soon. I will never get to see her achieve those dreams. The void that has been left is unmeasurable. The impact of her loss on our family is immeasurable. As a father, I am forever burdened with the pain of losing my child.
Oh, okay. So it was all right. All right. Now I understand what this headline is saying. Okay. This is interesting. Okay. But I need the stuff about him being flown in.
I will spend the rest of my life trying to navigate this grief, trying to make sense of the world that took my daughter from our family. But I will never forget her. I will keep her memory alive. And I hope justice is served for her, not only because I'm her father, but because she deserves it. I ask that you consider this life that was taken, the pain that has been caused, and the lasting effects of this tragedy on everyone who loved our amazing daughter, Lakin Hope Riley. Thank you.
There's nothing about it. Matt Walsh talked about it. Maybe I just play his video. Why can't I find anything about this, though? Of course, they're not talking about this. Joe Biden's still in office. I need to find. No, Goon, the point is that well, they lost anyway, but they didn't want to lose, of course. So they set the trial till afterwards because we find out in the trial that Homeboy got bussed to New York and put up in a hotel, and then he got bussed or flown. I think at some point he was flown to Atlanta where this happened. He had multiple warrants. He had done multiple other crimes and got released. And so essentially Biden's managing of the border directly led to this. The way that they were moving. And he's part of Tren de Aragua. So that's the stuff I'm trying to find right now. But they hiding it from me. Google don't want me to see the truth. Or they're burying it in the articles, so I have to go through all these articles. Athens for work. Nelly and his brother are all in custody. Warning and approval. You gonna let me read the whole article? No, you're not. Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. The Atlanta Constitution. Prosecutors used data from cell phones. I want to see. Jose Ibarra. How would I search this? I'm just gonna go to Matt Walsh's video and find the clip because I think he plays the interview that I'm struggling to find right now. This happened, what, 6 months ago? When did this happen? It happened like 6 months ago, but like 8 years ago, he murdered a guy. Not a U.S. citizen and was caught crossing the border, but was released in the United States in 2024. Passed the Lincoln Riley Act. Augusta, Georgia, Athens, Georgia. Perpetrator. Here we go. Here we go. It's in Wikipedia, bro. Thank you, Wikipedia. See, Wikipedia is sometimes based. Perpetrator. Okay. Yeah, Wikipedia has it. He's apprehended after crossing the border, who subsequently released him into the country. He initially stayed at the Roosevelt Hotel migrant shelter in New York. And we did a story on that. Savannah Hernandez went out there and did an in-depth thing on it. They've turned that whole hotel into Immigration Central, Illegal Immigrant Central in New York. So that Tren de Aragua taking over hotels is not a new thing, and a lot of it, the government's helping them do that. They're sending them into these communities, and they just take over a whole hotel or an apartment building. And it is in here. Okay, dude, Wikipedia's got everything. I just pulled up the Wikipedia and saved it, but all the stuff I'm looking for is in here. But it's also in Matt Walsh's video. He has the video of dudes saying it, either in an interrogation or in court. I can't remember. Where's it at? Liked videos.
Three years ago, a 25-year-old Honduran national named Medina Ulloa was stopped by Border Patrol agents in Texas. He gave them a fake name and lied about being a juvenile. But instead of kicking him out of the country, authorities gave him a notice to appear for a court date that everyone knew he, of course, would never actually attend. And then Ulloa was flown to Jacksonville, Florida, where he was taken in by a 46-year-old father of four. Soon afterwards, the immigrant beat the man to death inside his own home. Now, last year, Medina Ulloa pleaded guilty to murder and received a 60-year sentence. And during the course of the prosecution that led to that plea deal, we learned a lot of details about what actually happened.
So this is a different guy. He's talking about a different case. So he starts with this case, and then he leads into the Lake and Riley case. So there's multiple examples. Well, by now, there was a time when a lot of young, pretty girls were just getting offed left and right. But there's lots of examples of this happening, of this sort of thing.
We learned that Ulloa had attempted to tamper with evidence, for example. We also learned from home security footage that Medina Ulloa pummeled his victim with a chair before repeatedly stabbing him. But there was one critical detail that was never explained, even though it's maybe the most important piece of the entire story. And that is, how did Medina Ulloa get to Jacksonville? Did he buy a ticket himself, even though he had no money? Did someone else buy a ticket for him? Did he?
Yeah, and and look, the facts about Lincoln Riley's case that they don't want you to know about, like none of the headlines report on this. When I try to find it, you can read through Wikipedia and it's all in here. But there should be mainstream media like reporting on this when I Google it. And you don't see anything. And remember, Biden basically apologized for calling this guy an illegal. And then he got Lakin's name wrong.
Someone else that you got to know, that you lived with while you were here in Athens?
¿Alguien más que llegaste a conocer, que vivió con ustedes aquí en Athens?
Giancarlo Hernández.
Giancarlos Hernández.
And how did you get to Athens?
¿Y cómo llegaron a Athens?
En Nueva York.
See, this is what I want. So if I just save this here, we can watch this tomorrow. Okay. And that's a good main story chunk right there. Sorry, guys. We got to watch it tomorrow. I think that's the main stuff. Got a couple more things I got to dig up. Let's see Jack doing his flips. Jack's doing a 24-hour live stream right now trying to break the world record for most backflips done on a trampoline in 24 hours. He's pretty close.
Airplane at that. That video is going to go up Tuesday, and it's amazing. You guys are going to love it. I think you're going to love it. I love it. I had a really good time. We built an airplane and pushed it off of a cliff. And no one got hurt or died. Maybe. You'll find out. Ooh. Ooh.
984. The world record is
Legs.
1,002.
Back's fine. Back's all right.
Ed the Clown King handshake Jack the Flip King.
They're going to be like... I'm going to be able to kick through walls after this, dude.
Turner says he's here in chat.
He's here in chat? That's good enough. Bro, Turner, throw it on your story, dude. Come on, bro.
He already did.
Did he? Yeah. That's sick. That's probably why we're almost to 1,000.
Wonder how long's he been going?
I mean, I'm also not a streamer. I don't really stream.
You need to.
This is content, though. If you guys like this live stream,
He's
you
only
think we
been
should
going for
live stream
4
more
hours.
24-hour challenges,
He's got
let me
24
know in
hours.
chat.
Do some flips, Jack.
And the Clown King again. Thanks for the $5, dude. Break a leg.
Bang.
What up, chat? How are we feeling?
That's cool. 24-hour stream sitting around in a chair. OnlyFans model snaps over sandwich. Did she murder a guy? Trying to look for something to play while I get this rapid fire news put together. Oh yeah, Joe said he's put Dragon Believer on his Bro, if you don't believe in dragons, what are you even doing?
Speaking of fake news, Joe Rogan mocks The View after co-host accused him of believing in dragons. Okay, the first thing I want to do is show you the clip from these I'm almost like, if I was going to show you a bunch of clucking hens, we can put on Chicken City, but I'll give you The View instead, as they disparage Joe Rogan.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. But so when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one.
Yeah, but I think that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News.
Nobody likes it.
Checked by everybody. Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have the legal note here.
That is a new development.
We went from Walter Cronkite. Basically, to this guy Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons. He believes in dragons.
Did you triple force that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like dinosaur type of animals, roamed the earth when people did. So this is the type of really.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Who doesn't believe in dragons and that dinosaurs roamed the earth when people did? Science backs that up. We have evidence of humans, of Homo erectus mammalians walking in the Cretaceous period with the dinosaurs. And if a dinosaur had wings and the capability to breathe a little fire, well, that would be a dragon. Did you see the MSNBC called them out on X, and the headline was Rogan called them out on X, and the headline was edited. He called out the View, or he called out MSNBC. MSNBC put a fake a bad headline out about Lake and Riley. I think this is one of those websites where it lets me read it the first time I click on it, but if I save it and I open it in the show, it's not going to let me read it. What's up? We're going to have to make a segment called The View Watch, because now that Trump's back in office, The View is going to get interesting. New folder. Reels. Save that. Open Facebook.
Really bad information that's going out there.
Isn't it funny that she just said, we have legal disclaimers and we're checked by ABC News? Also, Joe Rogan believes in dragons. And so Joe Rogan changed his Twitter bio to Dragon Believer. And that's my new official X description, Rogan said, changing his bio to Dragon Believer. He posted the clip.
Where do they? Oh, I want to know what he said about dragons. That
he probably didn't say anything.
There's like terror. No,
like
there's terror
dragons. Probably they probably found one of those meme clips where it's some people will edit podcasts to make jokes, and was it Joy?
It was Pink Trip or something.
They believe, and they believe it, and they go, "Wow, he believes in dragons."
Or he was talking about like animals. They're like, dude, these are like legit. It's crazy. Like,
or he was smoking weed, and it was called
dragons. They're just really.
It's a strain of weed called Dragons with Humans.
It's like, oh, didn't you know chickens are still considered dragons, man? And then he's just like, oh yeah, totally, I believe that. There we go.
They're like little dinosaurs.
Everyone in McKinney is dead.
The tone of these
the
shows
temperature,
is amazing because they spend most of their time post-election asking themselves, "What's wrong with the country? I don't understand what's wrong with everybody," and not "What's wrong with us."
Oh yeah, I know.
You know,
I mean, that's something that I've said a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like, they hate America. That's like we were talking on PCC today. We were talking about Ellen DeGeneres and her wife are leaving, and it's like, well, they hate America. They hate the fact that Donald Trump was elected by a majority of the American voting population and by the Electoral College, and they just
it's an elitism, a disdain for those. That's why they keep saying, "Listen, college-educated women voted for Kamala."
I mean, sort of.
That's the facts, and I'm like, well, maybe college doesn't educate you.
That's true, sort of. But it's not just. It is elitism, but there's also there's people that don't feel any connection to the United States. People that tend to be in that tend to live in cities. Yeah. Like you can live in London, or you could live in Paris, or you could live in New York, or you could live in LA, or you could live in any number of cities in the West, and it mostly feels the same. You'll get most of the same stuff. Like you'll get a little bit different food maybe, but otherwise it's the same thing. But if you live in the woods or in outside of the major cities, it's real different.
Everybody knows about playing with dominoes.
Outside of Phoenix,
but what you may not know,
totally different to living in New England. Outside of the city. So that kind of stuff makes a difference. And people that are cosmopolitan like that, they're just like, whatever, it's all the same to me. I live in a city, and I live in the city in the US or London or whatever, and it's like it's all the same. They don't have any connection to where they're from.
I'm doing some fact checking on Rogan's beliefs on dragons. Joe Rogan's dragon beliefs. This is from an episode of his podcast with Adrian Lappalucci, if you want to look into it. According to the snippets, he talked about ancient cultures like the Chinese, Japanese, ancient European cultures. They suggested dragons might have been real flying lizards or like flying crocodiles. He said he's not sold on the fire breathing aspect, but is convinced that there were large.
Oh, I can sell you on the fire breathing aspect. It's very simple. We found skulls of dinosaurs with cavernous spaces, two separate hollow spaces in the top of their skull. The ones with the long head, and there's like a downspout at the top of their skull, and then it goes through these two pockets to their nostrils, and it looks very similar to a bombardier beetle's anatomy, which has the same two pockets, and it pulls air through its shell and it blows it out the back, and they fart fire. It's a little fire farting beetle. They go, they have like the pockets. Each pocket holds a different chemical gaseous thing, and when they mix, it combusts and it go poof, and it farts a little fire bomb. The bombardier beetle. And the skulls of these dragons look similar. And then we have all these myths about dragons. So some archaeologists have said it's possible that these are chambers like the bombardier beetle has, where they could blow out a little burst of fire. It would be a good defense mechanism. If you believe in evolution, it would make sense that if we have evidence of animals doing that now, that why couldn't dinosaurs do them? You know? I see London, I see France. You see somebody's underpants? Whose underpants do you see? Okay, we have the clip here on New York Post. So hopefully New York Post will just let me play it during the show. We're going to play this meltdown from The View. Then some little other stories. We got an update on the duct tape banana. Don't look it up, guys. Gotta stay updated on that. Let me find this article. How come you don't show me the original article? I don't want to see your Facebook post about it. I want to see the article. Take me to the article. I guess I'll just save this post like this. Space news. Gotta have some space. Gotta have some space news. When is this from? It's from earlier this week. Let's see what else I got in my other folder. Forbes. Are they doing fireworks out there? Somebody's doing fireworks. Okay, this is good for rapid fire. Rapid fire, rapid fire. Who the hell is shooting off fireworks? Let's delete that. Put this in rapid fire. And then Trump updates. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We're in a little bit of downtime after the election. We'll throw some Trump dates in the rapid fire. And I think I wrote down one other thing that happened. My notes on my phone.
Reptilian creatures that were referred to as dragons. Now, I'll go a step further and suggest it is possible that they had like flammable saliva, and maybe it was like they clicked something in the back of their throat and could like make a spark.
This dragon believer.
Just wait till Joy Behar comes after you.
Like,
now you have this guy Tim. Pull.
Like, maybe
Joe Rogan about saliva. Joe Rogan spitballing as I bet that
it's not flammable saliva. I just explained how it's possible, and then he ruins it with damn flammable saliva and clicking.
there probably were stuff like this, and then it turned it into he believed that dragons.
He suggested that these dragons might have been real. Might have been.
So Komodo dragons are real. Like
there's literal dragons.
There are
Not
giant
flying,
lizards that are bad.
Dude,
you know,
birds are like flying lizards. I mean, at some point we had dinosaurs.
So,
they were
don't prove
considered
Joey
right.
right. Mika and Joe ended up making up with Donald Trump. Do you think there's any potential for The View to also make up with Donald
100%. Trump doesn't.
Well, he's a comedian. I could totally see her going on the show, and like, but I don't know. At this point, it's too far gone.
It's
actually a real betrayal of sort of the comedian's understanding of things. Like she comes from that world. We forget because she's been on the show so long.
Joe's point is actually really, really simple. You go back 2,000 years or whatever, and you've got a village of 100 people, and let's just say it's I don't know, Rome, and what's an old Latin name? I don't know, like Lucius or something. Is that Latin?
Yeah, Lucius.
There you go. And he's like in Latin, I'm gonna go travel to the next town over to see if they've got metal of some sort. And as he's walking, he's like boop boop boop, and he sees a big lizard, and it's like it's huge. It's like probably a meter. And then he goes back and he's like, I swear it was as big as this. It was massive. And then some guy was like, did you hear what Lucy said? There was a lizard. It was like 6 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
And then some guy's like, I hear there's a 6 foot tall lizard walking around. And then someone's like, yeah. And it was spitting and screaming, spitting. Wow, yeah. Spitting fire, they say. And he didn't mean literal fire. But my point is, when you hear these stories about monsters, like the story of this, like where does Cyclops come from? They found an elephant skull. And the nose socket or whatever looks like
one.
Yeah, and they thought it was a Cyclops head. And so then they draw pictures.
Yeah.
So you go back far enough, and someone's going to be like, I fought a
Whoa. We saying Cyclops isn't real either? You think there were some archaeologists? Dang. What the? I hit the wrong thing. Get out of here, Jubilee.
Speaking of fake news.
Oh, all that stuff would decompose. Maybe stuff literally could spit flammable fluid.
More disturbingly is like they're conflating the idea, and they're so threatened by. They're presenting it
somewhere.
Yeah.
And it runs out of the bush after having just tried to eat a piece of flaming refuse because a lightning strike happened. And so it runs up and just barfs, and this ball of fire
here
falls
we go.
out.
There are the bombardier beetle is a real animal that spits flammable.
Look, they got to it. They got to the freaking bombardier beetle. I said it. I'm glad they got to it.
Liquid called hydroquinones.
It's not flammable.
This says
it's boiling. It's not
it's a toxic boiling substance.
And it doesn't spit.
Well, there you go. The chemicals mix in the air and undergo the exothermic heat release and chemical reaction.
I was literally just looking at a bombardier beetle.
Boiling hot, yeah. Irritating boiling hot fluids.
Listen, don't debunk the dang bombardier beetle. It explodes out of there. It's a dang explosion. It combusts. They're just trying to rewrite science now.
So if there was a flying lizard that spit this hydroquinones,
what's that shrimp that can snap so hard it creates a plasma blast?
Yeah, what is it?
What is it? Pistol shrimp. Yeah, it snaps its little claw so fast it creates a vacuum which creates a burst of light.
It's like Street Fighter shrimp.
Yeah, it's like a Hadouken. Plasma.
Hadouken.
Yeah, that's right. Those
You sent us down a rabbit hole.
Dangerous shrimp. But this is
the bombardier beetle. So they're saying it's not combustion, so it's not fire. Listen, if we can get boiling acid water shooting out of a beetle's butt, you think we can't get a little fire out of a dragon? It's possible they just did the same thing as the bombardier beetle, but if there was like a tree that was on fire and they did it, maybe then it caught on fire and somebody's like, wow, he's blowing a ball of fire. That's kind of what Tim was saying about the throwing up on the fire thing. They got to the bombardier beetle. I'm glad. Then they kind of debunked it. Lame. Don't debunk. Dang beetle.
This is the nature of the media. They don't like Joe Rogan, and they sit here telling how we tell the truth. Meanwhile, they just spit lies all day to the point where they have to have legal disclaimers. When she's like, we have a legal notice here, the human legal notice, I'm like, that's not a good thing to have.
Did you see the
That's
second
indicative
one?
of how many lies you have.
They just released another one.
Did another one?
Yeah, today.
Disclaimer?
Yeah, another one.
I don't think that it was about.
It was Hegseth.
Oh, Fox News. They're just like, hey, you'll be hearing from our lawyers, Sonny.
Doesn't seem to be working, whatever they keep doing, because judging by the way the cultural tides have turned.
I think they got Matt Gaetz. They're going to go for Pete Hegseth next, by the way.
They're only interested in getting. They're after the awfuls. They're after the awful viewership. Just affluent white ladies that are.
It's siloing itself off more and more and more the more they double down on it. So it doesn't seem to be.
But I don't think that it matters. I don't think that obviously they don't want to get sued. But beyond legal.
Time is time to leave and tick tock, tick tock. Boom, boom, boom. I can't stop singing this bloody.
See, the frog spit out the beetle.
What if someone will dare eat dangerous bombardier beetle? These bugs known by its mechanism protection. In the abdomen, there are 2 of them component, with mixing, which is formed hot, almost 100 degrees caustic liquid, and throw out accompanied by mini explosion. Hit the frog beetle urgently unclenches valves on tank.
So the only thing you're missing is combustion, because that water, those chemicals could be flammable. You just need a way to ignite it.
With regents, and suits her, to put it mildly, heartburn. The frog is writhing from pain and trying with all our might get rid of from fireworks inside yourself. Beetle is capable bomb a few dozens once in a row until we'll be on freedom. But with amphibians, understandable. But effective is this protection against mammal?
Bro, AI writes these shorts. This is like weird language that isn't English.
Example, a hedgehog. The beetle gets into mouth, produces some attacks, and how we see they don't have no influence for appetite hedgehog. All these
how we see they don't have no influence for appetite hedgehog. What the fuck? This is how we're all going to talk in 10 years when AI writes everything for us.
Protective bombardier substances, great seasoning to main course, if chew quickly and to swallow.
Great seasoning to main course if chew quickly to swallow. Or a dumb human wrote that and didn't know how to use commas and punctuation. So the AI's just reading it strangely. Look, the frogs ain't eating them beetles. He kicks him off. He kicks him off the ledge. Beetle's trying to get him. The frog gave up. I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that thing. All right. I think I got everything I need except for a last little segment. What can we talk about? What could we talk about? For the last hour tomorrow. I've been going through Plato's Republic. It's pretty good so far. I'm like 4 chapters in, just listening to it. I don't know. I don't know what to do the last hour on tomorrow. Maybe we'll just kick back since it's a holiday show. Unless I think of something tonight. You can outclimb me? I don't think you can out. Being able to do a pull up on a ledge doesn't mean you can outclimb me. I think a more important skill is that you know how to do that little 1/4 inch. I don't know how to do that on a keyboard.
an incredible year for you. Coming out as a Christian, dealing with the reactions and criticisms as a result of that. My first question is, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
I hope so. How?
This was this is Ayan Hersey Ali. She is one of the horsemen of the atheist apocalypse. She was. She was very atheist, stoutly atheist, and she came out as a Christian. She spoke at an atheist conference about God, and a lot of the atheists kind of turned on her. But Alex is cool. She's got an interview with her here. I haven't watched this yet.
Is your life different from a year ago when you'd become a Christian, but you were getting ready to talk about it? It wasn't part of your public persona yet. How has life changed for you?
Well, I think I was troubled in my heart, in my head, and I'm in a place of peace. I'm at peace with what I do, with where I am, with my work, with my family, and it's something new for me. So sometimes there's this sense that it will just disappear, and I'll go back to that time of confusion and trouble. But it's permanent. It feels permanent. It feels more permanent. And in fact, every day I feel more and more attached. I'll say attached and connected to God. And that connection then gives me a much stronger connection with everything else, with my family and friends and relations and my work.
Has the way you feel about Christianity changed since publicizing the Christianity that you have? Has that changed the way that you approach it? I imagine that there are a lot of people trying to help you determine which denomination you might be or iron out some of the intricacies of your theology. How has it been since actually coming out, as it were?
Well, I have to always bear in mind, and I think maybe there's an advantage to coming to Christianity as an older person, is that you keep telling yourself there is Christ and his teachings, the gospel and the Bible, and then there are the followers of Christ who are humans. And they see things differently and they experience things differently. And so, yes, I do get all these invitations of people saying, join my denomination. It's better than the other one. And here's why it's better than the other one. I also really get a lot of people who say, I prayed for you for so many years and my prayers have been answered. And of course, my answer is always, Amen. But aside from that, I also get a large number of people who are delighted that people like me who are former atheists and vocal former atheists are coming back and saying there's something of value to religion in general and Christianity in particular. So I get that reaction as well.
And how do you
Alex is going to come out of the closet as a Christian soon. It's going to happen.
feel about the fact that a lot of people are using your conversion to put a flag in a cultural moment? I mean, such a personal story as yours, which perhaps we can relay to those who don't know, becoming a political tool for so many to say, look at what's happening in the world, look at this former atheist, look at how she's become a Christian, and putting you up on something of a pedestal. How has that been for you?
So I don't like pedestals because I don't think that it's a good way of doing things. Again,
I'll probably watch this tonight at work. We never covered the transcendental argument for God. When I did my arguments for God, I skipped the transcendental argument, and I have files on that. I know that's a lot of ortho guys' favorite one. It's not my favorite one, but I don't know. We might just chill tomorrow night for the last hour or start the after party early. We'll see. I gotta go, guys. I gotta go to work. Check this out. Why I converted to Christianity. Ayan Hersey Ali on Alex O'Connor's channel. I'm gonna watch this tonight, but I'm gonna head out. Let's see if anybody else is streaming. I think Buff is. You guys can go watch some Sav Sit videos with Buff. Mr. Mad, is he live or is he doing a video? It's a video, but it says live. I don't know. I'll send you the Buff. Whatever. But I gotta go, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night, Monday night. It's been a long week at work. It's been a tiring week. They're not doing something that they usually do before we get there. And so now we have to do that too for the past week. and it's some bobo. Um, it's been a tiring week, so I gotta go. I gotta get to work. Thanks, Amanda. I didn't really try to make this on low energy right now. We're just hanging out. But tomorrow night, more energy. We got a show tomorrow. We don't have a last hour segment or last half hour. Um, maybe I'll come up with something tonight, or maybe we'll just kick back tomorrow before the after party. But I'll see you guys there. Go say hi to Buff. Watch some cop soft sit videos or something. All right. Deuces.